Welcome back to Misadventures Recap. And this week, things are really starting to take off. We've got Avid turning into what can only be described as a coin goblin.
I probably also would have panicked and not thought of one.
Oh, are
Money!
you a little coin goblin? You coin goblin, come on.
Sausage being, well, sausage, and enjoying some me time.
How did you get in here? What?
Oh no, I'm just self-imprisoning myself for a couple days just to relax a little bit. You know, it's just so hectic out there.
Oh.
As well as some new secrets that have never been shown in videos or live streams before. So let's not waste any time and get you up to speed on what's happened this week. But before we do, make sure you subscribe right now to stay up to date on everything Minecraft Misadventures. Let's recap.
Since building the Tower of Bing last week, Sausage's bell is now functional, dinging at sunset just like the bell tower in Orchidea. Sausage heads into Maryport to collect various quests, noticing a couple that give Scarlet Veil rep and negative Maryport rep. Intrigued to see which faction gives better loot down the line, he decides to start leaning towards the Scarlet Veil faction, and after seeing the reward for completing Forge Master Rook's quest, he feels even more confident in his decision to side with the Scarlet Veil. Since he's now a part of the Road Builders Guild, he decides it's time to get some work-appropriate uniform and reveals his new skin. And that's not the only thing being revealed. I mean, look at those biceps. His first project is a bridge connecting the roadside tavern to the other side of the river, detailed with a dock and some custom trees. He then continues a path past the Lost Crypt to his new area, the Riverwood Hamlet. He hints at a lot of lore to come, but keeps the detail a secret for now. He builds a beautiful gatehouse to mark the entrance of the Riverwood Hamlet, ending with a quick tour of the interior.
Speaking of touring interiors, it's time for everyone's favourite house flipper, Taneesha. So after quite a commendable performance in the hide and seek event, Matt speaks to Taneesha as he's in the market for a house. While checking her houses in Maryport, she stumbles into Meadows Ruin, an unowned property that she quickly buys for 85 gold, and then instantly sells to Matt for 2,000 gold. Her old roommate Drift then approaches her, also in need of a home. And so after a one-time payment of 2,500 gold, Taneesha gives Drift access to Casa di Palmieri in Orchidea. She then manages to pick up Casa di Agua in Orchidea for 30 gold, and decides it's the perfect time for an auction. She also created 4 loot-filled shulker boxes to auction off alongside the house, which were the How's It Going yellow shulker, Awesome Box blue shulker, Tough Luck box red shulker, and the Picture Perfect box, the orange shulker. The bidders are gathered and the auction is about to begin. However, some of the misadventurers seem dubious given Taneesha's scheming background.
There's good stuff.
You are pretty
Okay,
notorious
sorry.
for scamming this.
Yeah, I was going to say, of all the people to be running this, we've all accepted that this could just be a scam.
First up is the sale of Casa di Agua, and even with Matt arriving with a blind bid of 5,000 gold, Cam wins the house with a bid of 5,500 gold. As for the shulker boxes, things got a bit crazy. Matt won the yellow shulker for 10,000 gold, Cam then won the blue shulker for 10,000 gold also, Jojo won the red shulker for 11,500 gold, and Shubble, with maybe a bit of peer pressure, won the orange shulker for 21,000. Taneesha ended that day with around 58,000 gold in profit. So I think we can put the term scammer to the side and just say that she's simply amazing at making money off of the other players.
Matt begins his episode running the sewer dungeon, earning enough money to buy the land for his new cow ranch. He heads back to the Lost Crypt to trade in 5 diamond blocks for shulker boxes, then loads up on materials. He talks through his thought process of the build before cutting to a time-lapse of the smaller details. Completing the farmhouse, he then gives a quick tour of the interior. He then takes a break from building and meets with Drift to sell her access to his enchanting setup. He then shares his POV of the Road Builders Guild trials, and after being accepted into the guild, returns to the ranch, adding some wheat fields and cow pens, and getting slightly carried away, adding 15 custom trees. And with the addition of a little wagon and a chicken coop, this has quickly become one of my favorite builds on the server. He asks his viewers for a name for the farm, as well as 2 names for the NPCs that will live there, then ending his episode by plugging his stream for more details and a behind-the-scenes look at his builds.
Drift and Avid have been tasked with their first Road Builders Guild project, and it's the small task of connecting the Lost Crypt to Matt's Ranger territory and then onto the University of Cambridge after that. They take time to study the paths that have been built already, and then spend some more time grabbing more shulkers and even upgrading the Shovelnate to 5,000. Before getting to work on the path, Drift heads to Lawnhaven to build a magical wizard parkour tower. She builds a special way to climb into the tower and then gets to work on the interior. She then ends up meeting up with Catherine, Avid, and Eloise to learn about the new Prisma Pond, a stunning fishing spot created by Catherine. Drift thinks it's a good idea to throw something into the pond for good luck. However, Avid the coin goblin had some different ideas and comes to regret stealing Drift's offering.
Ow! Getting you with the
I'm
stake.
okay, that would kill me. One more and I'm dead.
Okay. We'll back off.
back off, but let that be a lesson to you.
Back at the parkour tower, Drift brings Jojo in as a professional parkour tester. Jojo completes the tower, but recommends adding extra hard obstacles for better loot. With how much everyone has been grinding dungeons, I can definitely see people grinding really difficult parkour as well. Drift gives us a tour of the tower and gives more insight into the wizard lore and future plans, specifically regarding the loot rooms and making sure there's a reward that can be obtained by everyone, regardless of parkour ability.
Joel recaps the progress he has made during his live streams, most importantly obtaining his sheep mount, Donkey, and then showcasing the quest and reputation system at Molly's sheep farm. He wants to continue relocating his things to his new mushroom grove, so treats us with a very cool travel time lapse. After setting up his enchanting area in the mushroom build from last episode, he crafts a full set of diamond armor and tools, but wasn't too happy about the enchants he was getting.
We're risking it.
He heads back to Maryport to complete some fishing quests, combining some of the rods and bows to at least get some half-decent loot. With his new diamond gear, he heads to the Lost Crypt just to get trapped in the gold room. After a slow and embarrassing death to a sweetberry bush, he returns to trade a diamond block for his first shulker box. He cuts to a material gathering montage featuring maybe the slowest nether portal build I have ever seen. I think we need to get some speedrunners on this server to teach people how to make some portals. Back in the Mushroom Grove, he talks through his starter house time-lapse, ending the episode with a tour of the build. Moving on to Scott, he of course begins his episode with his daily quest for Molly, slowly but surely fixing his reputation. He even goes the extra mile to give her a ton of new sheep, hoping she'll notice his kind gesture, but also just makes the sharing quest a lot easier. Out in the wilderness, he shows off his new area, Rustler's Reach. After scrolling TikTok in his downtime, he had become inspired for his new build theme, calling it Arcane Tech, with implications of machinery but powered by magic. With plans for a dungeon in the future, he wants to build up the surrounding area first, starting with a time-lapse of a tower that will double as a dock for airships. He then takes a trip to the Lost Crypt to pick up 3 shulker boxes, with plans to move to the new area next episode.
Now we have Shubble, who kicks things off with a brand new skin reveal. She also lets us know that she's currently waiting on Joey to finish his wizard tower so that she can become his new apprentice. We then get introduced to her new assistant, an adorable white bunny that she found in the wilderness. After quite a painfully long journey back with the bunny on a lead, he's put into a cage until Shubble can make him a better place to live. She felt rather poor after spending 21,000 gold at Taneesha's auction, so she heads to Orchidea to see Esperanza. Shubble does her quest with 30 golden apples to make her money back, and even gets a bit flirty with Esperanza. Don't tell the Watchmaster. Shubble announces her new business for all those looking to spice up their outfits, and even already has Cam lined up as her first customer. She gets to work building her tailoring van, and upon completion, Avid swings by to place an order as well. He asks Shubble for an outfit that involves short jorts, a crop top, and some high boots, and hands over 10,000 gold for the service. Cam arrives just as the deal is finalized to pick up his order and reveals his new professor outfit. Cam invites her to check out his new shop, but during the tour, Shubble hears some strange music coming from Sausage's cell.
Is someone
Hello,
home?
Sausage.
Brother
Oh, please,
Don?
I'm not decent. I'm not decent.
Are you?
I think
Are you
so.
in here?
Sorry, I'm not dressed.
She wraps things up with an update on the skeleton wolf hunt and reveals she's killed it 753 times, with no mount to show for it.
Jumping over to the Cambridge professor himself, he decorates his area with a new fishing dock, but wanting more of a presence in the community town, he decides to set up a flower shop. He talks through the build time-lapse, crediting a YouTube video for inspiration, as well as thanking Sausage for some advice while building. He gives a quick tour of the exterior, and then meets up with Shelby to support her new tailoring business. Now in his new colourful professor's robe, Cam pays Shelby 2 diamonds, 8 grass blocks, and Avid's head for the incredibly fast turnaround. Cam tries to give Shelby a tour of his new flower shop, before getting interrupted by Sausage's shenanigans. Now returning to his shop to finish decorating the interior, and ending his episode with a full tour.
JoJo's video this week is one that got me hyped just based on the title alone. She plans to discover every secret in Maryport, and I'm so here for it. I just want to say now that I'm going to keep this recap somewhat brief and simplified, because you 100% need to go watch JoJo's video for yourself to appreciate the effort put into something like this. It's incredible. We start off with the Maryport sewers, which just so happens to be JoJo's first time in this dungeon. She teams up with Cam and Sev and has the goal of finding something that they've never found on their runs, and...
Spoilers, I did.
Fast forwarding to Taneesha's auction where Jojo paid 11,500 gold for Tough and Bones. We then see the aftermath of Cam killing Rosa Delago. It's safe to say Sausage's love for her fueled his anger towards Cam.
How did you even know I was there?
Vengeance is mine!
She returns home to open up her barrel of stolen goods from completing sewer quests, and then gets on with searching Maryport for secrets. While searching bookshelves, she accidentally opens the entrance to the Milky Speakeasy and has a look around. The search for secrets is interrupted as it turns out Cam decided to name Jojo's sheep mount thinking it was his own. After After Jojo and Eloise set him straight, Jojo decides it's definitely time to name her mount and thinks that Satin Falcon's suggestion is the obvious choice.
We are naming you Oven Mitt.
Jojo enters the Maryport bookshop, and this is where things get interesting. She begins looking through every book until she finds a book titled Fix It. This secret book is written by Time Guardian and appears to be directed straight at Jojo. Like I said, I don't want to entirely break down this video as it's definitely worth the watch, this part especially. But ultimately, Jojo is instructed to take time to fix her mistakes and also prove her appreciation of time. This obviously leaves Jojo confused and with a lot of questions, so she decides to come back to it later and continues her search of Maryport. Jojo speaks to Lady Talia and finds out she sells something called the Book of Reputations. It's essentially a book that shows a player's reputation among the different factions and locations in Misadventures. This would have been very handy when people were grinding for the rat mount. She finds some more really cool secrets around Maryport, but then meets up with Avid and discusses the idea of a speedrunning guild. After that, she heads out into the wilderness to find a location to build something that would please the Time Guardian. Surely a dedicated build to this mysterious entity would do the job, right? Jojo wraps up with some even more interesting information about the Scarlet Veil, but definitely make sure you go and check out the whole video to learn a lot of never before seen parts of Misadventures.
Pix recaps some of the progress made during his live streams, adding some shulker boxes with various materials to his storage ship, as well as beginning to decorate the interior of his roost. He plans for this building to be filled with NPCs, some with quests, and some just to provide more Sky Pirate lore. But his main plan for this episode is to obtain every single mount currently available. He heads to Molly's sheep farm to explain the quest and reputation system, and since he hasn't slaughtered a ton of sheep for rat food, he can buy the sheep mount immediately. The next mount he sets his sight on is the goat mount. He finds Travis and accepts his goat breeding quest, before heading to the resource world and starting the goat breeding operation. He receives a Goat Master 4 enchant and applies it to his sword, but he's not entirely sure what it does yet. He then finds an efficient loop of breeding goats, queuing up 2 quests from Travis, dying in the resource world to spawn back by his goats, and then repeating. In just 40 quests, Pix becomes the second player on the server to unlock the goat mount. For reference, it took Avid 215. He heads to the Maryport stables and buys the premium horse mount from Lena Cole, and then reveals his genius plan for grinding the rat faction reputation. Instead of destroying his reputation with Molly, he heads to the resource world to gather a ton of kelp. Dried kelp is usually a terrible food source, but thankfully the rats aren't picky. And since they're incredibly space efficient, he's able to load up his inventory with 90 stacks of dried kelp. He buys the rat mount from Slink, the white rat mount from Smudge, the grey rat mount from Champ, and since he's in the area, the Ace of Turtles card from Muckshell. Back at the Sky Pirate Roost, he displays the 6 mounts, just missing the Skeleton Wolf mount. It's far too rare to attempt in this video, but he will passively grind for it during his live streams.
Avid shows off the newly named CCXV, named after how many times he had to open loot chests to get this goat mount. Now that he's got the mount he worked so hard for, he wants to do some exploring of the world of Misadventures, but not before working with Drift on their Road Builders Guild assignment. He meets up with Catherine and together they set out to explore. They find Scott's Rustler's Reach Tower, Drift's Parkour Tower in Lawnhaven, and after nearly riding himself and CCXV off a cliff, we get a brand new song called It's Okay. Avid reunites with Catherine and the exploration continues. All is going well until they find a desert across the water. They have unfortunately stumbled into the Forbidden Land. They instantly turn around and swim for land. They then find the suspicious stands where it's hinted something could be hidden here. And with a little bit of sand digging, they find a crate of exotic plants. After another 45 minutes of adventuring and unfortunately not finding anything else, they met back at Catherine's place and celebrated with a jingle.
We did it. We went on an adventure and it was awesome and we had a great time.
Avid sets off to do some solo exploring and comes across Lizzie's Jungle Temple. It's a build that Avid himself helped build and code, so he shows some really cool features that hopefully we'll see in full very soon. He goes on to find the plot of Whip's first dungeon, Pix's Sky Pirate Roost, and Joel's Mushroom Grove. He even leaves a music disc there just to confuse him. Avid then shows us the result of exploring the whole world and even gives us a link of the map to see it in full ourselves. We've also put it in our description for anyone else that wants to have a look at it. He swings by Shubble's tailoring van to pick up his new uniform and gets a very honest opinion from Drift on the length of his shorts.
Those shorts are so short, the pockets are hanging out.
Yeah, she noticed. Yeah.
That's how you know they're short enough.
That's how you know they're short. That's the only kind of short. Wow.
Sev begins her episode recapping Cam's hide and seek event from last week, winning round 1 and then diving off of a roof to catch Callum in round 2.
Oh my god! We had
If you want to see more from that event, she has a full recording posted to her second channel. Being the pro sewer dungeon runner that she is, she meets up with Cam to show Jojo the ropes. She ends up learning a couple things she didn't even know about before, like secret swim spots and Muckshell's Ace of Turtles card. Upon exiting the sewer, Sausage kills Cam as revenge for his lover, Rosa Delago, just to accidentally kill Clara Igneous less than 30 seconds later.
You have nothing.
Oh gosh.
We not
Sausage! Did you just kill an NPC?
No way. Did you just kill?
What did you do?
He just killed.
Nothing.
He killed
Yeah,
an
we can
NPC.
talk.
There was
You killed an NPC.
We don't even know what their name
You just
was.
killed an NPC. Which one?
We don't even know.
Sev heads to Molly's sheep farm, and after completing the shearing quest 7 times, is finally able to get her very own sheep mount. After witnessing the birth firsthand, Drift feels inclined to provide some baby shower gifts, a saddle, some leads, and the name tag. Back at the abandoned garden plot, Sev terraforms a massive area and begins a time-lapse of the exterior wall, explaining her plans of making the players feel like they've been shrunk down while in the dungeon. Even the wall design itself is meant to be a giant version of the vanilla Minecraft stone walls, which I think is a really cool detail. She finishes with some overgrown details with plans to add more interior builds next episode.
And that's all for this week's Misadventures recap, but make sure to let us know down below in the comments what your favourite Misadventures moments were this week.